We join us here at Celtic Park in what's been an incredible 24 hours for Celtic and their supporters. This time last night, Brendan Rodgers was the manager of Celtic, and here we are, and we've just been doing an interview with Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney as they take charge of Celtic and an interim basis. David, an incredible 24 hours for Celtic.
Yeah, it's the Celtic version of Back to the Future, Robert. Martin O'Neill looked very proud, I think, to be back, but shell-shocked in a way. He spoke about it being a surreal moment when he got the phone call from Dermot Desmond to ask him to come back. Give him 10 minutes to decide. He said if he'd have taken 20 he might not come back, but no, he was only joking. There was a lot of quips in there. He was in good form, clearly here. He did say that I think it was probably the only club he would have come back for. He's 73 now, but he clearly feels a duty to come back to Celtic. He clearly feels a duty to Dermot Desmond, who gave him, it was the man who backed him for the Celtic job back in 2000, and he's here. For how long we don't know, Robert, but as a first performance went, he's an experienced guy. I thought he spoke very well.
We're here at the number 7 lounge at Celtic Park. You can see behind us the pitch. Martin O'Neill came in with Sean Maloney. They sat at the top table. There was no one from the Celtic hierarchy, no one from the board to explain the current state of affairs. It was pretty much left for him to try and manage this situation from here. I was surprised by that. I thought there would be someone from the board who would come and try and address the situation, because there are so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's so many unanswered questions, and the supporters who will welcome Martin O'Neill because of his status at the club, will want answers to all those questions you talk about. It was left to Martin O'Neill. He's clearly just arrived in a plane. I think Sean Maloney has been doing the crux, or the brunt of the work, over the last 24 hours, or not even 24 hours. He's been taking training today. He's been trying to assemble the backroom team alongside Martin O'Neill as well. And it's going to be a quick turnaround. Celtic have a game against Falkirk Wednesday night. They have to park everything that's happened with Brendan Rodgers, John Kennedy and the rest of the staff that have gone. They need to try and ignore the fan protests that are going to be outside Celtic Park on Wednesday night. And between them, Martin and Sean Maloney need to try and get a win tomorrow. It's
been a number of years since Martin O'Neill has been a manager. Obviously had so much success here, a long time ago. Are you surprised that he's the guy they turned to? Dermot Desmond obviously made the call. As you say, he joked about it. He said how he was given a kind of 10-minute warning to make his decision almost, and he had to do that. But are you surprised, or is it a smart move to get someone of his status into the club here? Because you can imagine here tomorrow night, the Celtic fans who will be unhappy. There's talking about protests before the game from the supporters against the board. But when Martin O'Neill walks out, you'd imagine he's going to get a great response.
Yeah, he's a figurehead, and if you're actually looking for a figurehead just now as someone who will unite the Celtic fans in terms of what is happening on the pitch, I don't think you could get a better figurehead. Yeah, he's not been in frontline management for a long time, but I think the smart thing for me is to put him in alongside Sean Maloney, who has coached at the highest level. He's been a coach with the Belgium national team under Roberto Martinez. He's got experience as a manager. He's been in and around the club. He's immersed in the club. He knows all the players and everything. And he's obviously been backed up as well by Mark Fotheringham, Stephen McManus, guys like that too, Gavin Strachan, Stevie Woods. There's a lot of experience there. Martin O'Neill is clearly in to make decisions, to be the figurehead, to be the manager, but the nuts and bolts, I think, of the work will predominantly be done by his staff. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of moving and shaking, I think, behind the scenes at Celtic in the next few days and weeks. You brought a story this afternoon that Kieran McKenna is someone, a person of interest. I think we can describe him as someone who potentially could be someone the Celtic board are looking at. That's unsurprising. He's a guy that's tipped highly.
Yeah, and Martin O'Neill, speaking before his press conference, actually, he spoke about getting a younger coach in to drive the club forward. He's a guy who, he has been in the past, even in the past 12 months, coveted by huge English clubs. He's a guy that's clearly going to go at the top. Okay, Ipswich got relegated last season, but it's no surprise to me that he's one who is under serious consideration as a possible contender, because Celtic will be compiling a list right now as well. Martin O'Neill was asked how long he's going to be here for. He doesn't know. I don't think this will be, I genuinely believe that they don't know how long they're going to be for. I think it is just taking it on a game by game basis. You can't imagine Celtic are going to have someone in for the weekend. You wonder about next week as well. We've got 4 games before the international break, Robert. Probably getting Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney in buys them a bit of time before they need to make a definitive decision. But I would expect, speaking to or listening to Martin O'Neill there, that Celtic will be looking to get a manager in by then.
It's funny about it, we're talking about the fact that, as I say, I expect Martin O'Neill will get a fantastic reception when he comes out here, but probably half the Celtic fans are going to be in here tomorrow night. Weren't even Baum and his team were winning so much domestically in Scotland, getting to European finals. There'll be some guys that are only kind of half aware of what the guy did.
Yeah, and what the, yeah, of course, and that's the thing for a generation of Celtic fans will probably hold Martin O'Neill up as the main man, the guy who started all this, 19 titles in the last 25 years. Another generation will be saying, I've heard about this guy, but it's like in a previous life. But yeah, he's back. I'll be honest with you, Robert, I never thought I'd see the day Martin O'Neill was back as the Celtic
73
manager.
Years
73 years of age.
He looks well on it, to be fair.
Yeah, he does. And as I said, there's he loves a laugh, he loves a joke, but there's a wee glint in his eye as well. He will be in, he's a serious football manager, he's got vast experience, both at club level and international level. As I said, as a figurehead, Celtic couldn't ask for any better right now.
Yeah, well, it's interesting times, certainly. Scottish football is never dull, and we'll be covering this right across the Scottish Sun social media channels, online and in the newspaper. For all the best news and views, stick with SunSport.